In May 1999, psychedelic explorer Terrence McKenna was diagnosed with a brain tumour and given between 3 and 9 months to live. I contacted Terrence by email and mentioned that I was making a documentary about shamans of the Amazon and asked if I could meet him and record an interview. Flying back home from the Amazon on December the 9th, 1999, just 4 months before he died, Terrence gave me one of his last interviews at his home on the Big Island of Hawaii.
It's too bad we don't have more time.
Terrence had tried many natural therapy cures and had also recently undergone gamma knife surgery to try and remove the tumour.
You've been here for a while?
Oh, I finished the house about 2.5 years ago and was here about 2.5 years building it, so...
Okay.
Yeah. Let me get Christy and...
Everyone was hoping for a miracle. Why do you think governments, most governments in fact around the world, have banned ayahuasca and made most psychotropics illegal?
Well, I think a social system is the product of a process of, you could call it social natural selection, that a civilization produces various religious ideas, political ideas. Some survive and some don't. And it's because the social system is applying selective pressure, saying universal medical care for all, we don't need that. Sexual flexibility among teenagers, well, we don't need that. So over time, a social system is built out of what is saved and what is thrown away. And so when you start putting drugs into a social system that actually promote unusual ideas, you're pushing the most important buttons that a society has, the buttons that shape what it believes about life and death and value and marriage and childbearing and all these things. And so that's very sensitive stuff and inevitably becomes a point of contention. And societies will arm wrestle over that, up to and including putting you away for 20 or 30 years for a half a gram of grass or something.
The war on drugs that America's sort of pushing around the world, what do you think the effect is of that, and who's really behind it, do you think?
Well, wasn't the struggle against communism a kind of struggle against ideas and who thinks what and who is permitted to believe that people should be paid more than $3.80 an hour for whatever labor they're asked to do and some of this other stuff. So capitalism, if it doesn't have enemies, it will create enemies. It will point out these people or these people. And so I think it's a thing like that, that it's a struggle to control the political agenda. And I'm not a Marxist, I don't have much patience with that, but I do think how Marxism has talked about the value of work and worth and the productivity of the masses and all that rhetoric carries right over into the so-called war on drugs, which is really a war against other people's values. It's a continuation of the Holocaust and cultural genocide and all the other efforts made by the phenomenal success of capitalism to shove its agenda down other people's throats.
What do you feel about the fact that people could be put in jail for 12 years for drinking this stuff?
Well, it's a disturbing tendency. I mean, it means that at least the U.S. government has made a decision somewhere to push hard against this, which is always the first strategy. The first strategy is push hard against some trivial thing, cannabis or LSD or something like that. And then once defeated in that strategy. Then there is usually a period of negotiated, an effort to create some kind of negotiated settlement. And then once that fails, there's usually a squaring off, and the issue is minimalized and translated into something trivial, and we move on to the next great social issue.
Crazy.
It's crazy.